Let's Fly there racing. Cupid Monelli bounced out with a comfortable lead in the early stages. Put up about 3 over second. Mignon got across over on the inside. West on Bambi checking off. Heels a little bit twisted. Behind those there, Malfetta Cruz, Garnett's Gem, Roman Blazer, and Speedy Genie back to the tail of the field. But Cupid Monelli's out by 7 and extending on the turns on the arm. And Cupid Monelli is going to absolutely annihilate his rivals down to the line and wins by about 9.
Well, that was Cupid Monelli setting a new track record over the 488 metre journey at Mandurah last Friday night, clocking a time of 26.78 to win his heat of the Dawesville Cup. Hello and welcome to the Wednesday preview. My name is James Broadhurst and joining me is the monarch of the mic, the regal race caller himself, Hayden King. Hayden, how are you?
Very well, James. Pleasing display in the heats by Cupid Monelli, and he looks like he's in a striking position to go on with it this Friday in the final of the Dawesville Cup.
Yeah, he certainly is. In great shape. Does run headlong into My Nicky Boy though in this trophy decider, doesn't he? Why don't we get straight into it, Hayden? It is race 5 on the card at Mandurah this Friday night, and as mentioned, those two dogs, Cupid Monelli, My Anarchy Boy, stand above this field. It is a nice field, but these two are certainly the standouts. My Anarchy Boy has now won his past 4. He's 3 from 3 over this journey, the 488, yet to finish worse than second in 13 career starts. He is the former track record holder, of course, conceded that title to Cupid Monelli following last week's run. That was Cupid Monelli's first look over the 488. He did find the journey very much to his liking. A blistering run, wasn't it? But that built on that form that he had over the 400 and the 520 as well. He's in great form at the moment. Cupid Monelli gets the same draw for the final as he had in his heat. Probably the favourite. The other two heat winners here, Can You Refine, Carter Axelrod, those were good runs. Both have actually been in pretty decent form of late, and then Nangar Bubbles, the other dog, I think that is a chance to bob up here. But look, no disrespect to the rest of the field, but for me, this is a race between Cupid Monelli, My Anarchy Boy. I'm edging towards Cupid Monelli solely based on box draw. Hayden, discuss.
I agree, although I'm more in the corner of Cupid Monelli than you are. I'm pretty confident if we see a reproduction of the heat run, he will win this race. He's well boxed down low, should be able to muster up, find the front and win the race. My Nicky Boy, equally well boxed out wide, has a wide runner to his outside, can build up, run into second place. I think they're the big two, and I have them firmly in that order. If I was going to play a bet in the race, I'd probably go trifecta 2 to beat 7, and then I'd play the dogs that are boxed really well, 1 at 8 for third, because West on Bambi had box 1 last week, toughed it out well for second there, and West on Gecko, who gets box number 8 again and is equally very well positioned out there. Others, there could be a bit of mixing in between them. Nanga Bubbles is clearly going to be the third dog in the betting, so I thought that's the way you could get some juice in your trifectas if there was just a bit of mixing going on in the middle stages. But yeah, Cupid Monelli does look very hard to beat.
Cupid Monelli, one thing for certain though, both these dogs have a very bright future ahead of them, don't they? Cupid Monelli, My Anarchy Boy.
Yeah, and My Anarchy Boy has been a real progression, whereas Cupid Monelli has been bang there on the scene since day one, and although his manners are definitely getting better, My Anarchy Boy has been a dog that's really built through it, whereas that potential has always been on show from Cupid Monelli, and I think we'll get to see that on Friday.
All right, well, why don't we stay down at Mandurah on Friday night and head towards the 400 metre free-to-all. And before we have a look at the field for this, let's go back and have a look at the 400 metre free-to-all from last week, and that was won by Crumble Monelli. Eventually, we're having a look at that race right now, and Crumble does find the lead from box 2, but over the 400, maybe that early speed not quite as prominent as it is over longer trips. Anyway, he was pretty quickly joined by All Over Kaja, and All Over Kaja, in fact, gets his nose in front at one stage. But with the inside running, Crumble Monelli is able to reassert himself. They battle it out to the finish, but Crumble Monelli holds out All Over Kaja in the home straight and goes on to score by a length. good contest between those two, and they're at it again this week. Crumble Monelli jumping out of box 4 and all over Kaja in box 7. What do you think, Hayden? Crumble Monelli having his first start over the 400 last week, of course, got that pedigree over this, or the similar distance from the old track when he won the Birthday Cup. That pretty much kicked a lot of things off for him last year, but all over Kaja's just been a superb short courser over the stretch, especially over the 400 since Mandra's opened up again. Can he turn the tables in this race? And then we've got a dog like Launch Control, well boxed here in box 2. He won 2 back and gets this good draw. What do you like in this race?
I think it's most likely to be a repeat of last week, where we see the two go at it again. Crumble Monelli, fortunately for him, he has that vacant box to his outside, and then he's also got Robotnik between he and All Over Kaja. That room is pretty important early because, as we saw, he wasn't the best into stride, not that he was slow, but that 520 metre racing strength really came to the fore late in the piece when they waged war and he came out on top. I think he probably does win again. If he doesn't begin that well, All Over Kaja might be able to burn him off, and you saw he got that half length near clear after 150 metres. Well, if Crumble Monelli doesn't begin well and he gets that full length over and crosses, that could change the tail of the tape. They rate well clear. West on Blossom's the interesting one, coming back to 400. We haven't seen her best in a while. The rest are going fairly without impressing. Robotnik's probably next best. Wild Ollie's interesting now, having his first go over this trip at Mandurah. He was good winning at Cannington last start from an inside draw. The other start up Andro, Launch Control, they need a lot to go their way, but Crumble, the top seed, All Over Kaja clearly second.
We had been waiting a while for Crumble to have his first run over the new 400, weren't we? Worth the wait. Now he's on his way. Obviously the intention from David Hobby is that he'll get a few runs under his belt leading into the Birthday Cup and defend that race. He had been just not quite there over the longer journey, but I think this is his go, isn't it?
It probably is more his go. If we had more feature racing over the 400, I think we'd see him
there more often,
devoted to the distance, but as the lay of the land stands, we do most of our feature racing over that 500 metre patch. So, yes, and in recent times, he hasn't been his electric top self out of the boxes. So, despite him still being really good, we have seen him begin better. So, I'd love to see him get back to that upper echelon of performances through that first section we saw going back 12 months ago now.
All right, there we go. That is the 400 metre free tall at Mandurah on Friday night. Let's swing our attention to Cannington on Saturday night. Another free tall that we're having a look at. This one's over the 520 metre journey, and honestly, 2 out of box 2 here. Gee whiz, hasn't that dog roared back into form over the past couple of weeks? First with a win down at Mandurah, and then last week at Cannington with a personal best run of 29.67. That is a great run to come into this race on. We've got Inside Scoop here, of course, 2 weeks ago, took out the Anniversary Cup, got checked early last week, and that crawled his chances. I don't know that the lemon really suits him in this one, but it's a small field and he should be able to get the jump on the dog on his inside here, Columbus Monelli. A couple of other dogs that I'm looking at in this race, Custard Monelli out of box 1. A little bit up and down. Can he fire with a good draw here? And then of course got Solidified out in box 8 here. Last start winner over the 600. That's where he's been doing most of his best work, but still a threat over the 520. He's going to be charging home here, and once again with a dog that has to come through a field. Only having a limited number of dogs to get around is an advantage for him. What do you think, Hayden? Does Honestly 2 follow up here and do the three-peat?
I think that's the most likely scenario. I think it's not set in stone, but I think she'll probably lead and win. She does have a little bit of resistance. Custard Monelli's a slim chance of kicking up and holding her if she's not on her A game. She should hold the rest of the pack. Inside Scoop can be a little hit or miss out of the boxes. His best is quite good, but it's still not good enough to cross Honestly 2. So if she's in the same health that she's been in, she'll take a lot of beating. Custom Monelli's going well, chased a shadow last week. Columbus Monelli needs a bit of luck. Inside Scoop, his best is very good, but he would need to be at his best if honestly 2 is. Spider Venom, Get Back, Run On, looks too tough. Solidified's interesting. I just think if they're carving out a 29.67 or whatever, honestly 2 can do out in front, then it's going to be too tough an ask if he's back in the field and he's forced to chase. I can't see him crossing, and that makes it a bit tougher for him. Honestly 2 on top, couple there to challenge if she doesn't begin that well.
All right, there we go. That is the 520 metre free trial at Cangton on Saturday night. We've got a big race meeting coming up at Cangton on New Year's Eve. Hayden, you made your New Year's Eve plans yet? You're going to be coming down to...
Yeah.
You will be? You'll be here?
I'll be here.
All right, love it. You're calling?
I'm on campus, yeah.
When's the last time you had a call?
Too long.
Okay, well, you're calling on New Year's Eve. That's a good one. That's going to be a good meeting to be involved with as well. Early start.
Okay.
And early finish. It's a family event, free, of course. A lot of free activities for the kids, free entry, and a great night to get involved with. Get all your New Year's Eve stuff done early. You can either kick on, or if you've got kids, you can pack up early, which is what I like to do on New Year's Eve these days, unfortunately. But
here's what you do.
Yeah.
You come here to Cannington, and then you jet over to Gloucester Park and you watch the fireworks there.
Okay. That's an option. Or, like I say, just go to bed early and just be done with it.
Okay, don't support the racing
and start the new year fresh. Speaking of free, Hayden, free entry tonight at Cangton, as it is each and every night here at Greyhounds WA. We've got 12 races, first kicking off at 6:45. The meeting is highlighted by the heats of the Summer Maiden Classic. That's where I'm heading for my best bet here, heading towards race 4, number 5, Kenya Gulf Stream in one of these heats here. I thought this dog was pretty okay on debut last week, just got run down on the finish line, expecting him to be a little bit stronger this week, and if that's the case, hopefully he'll be able to get up for the win. That's race 4, number 5, Kenya Gulf Stream. You got a best bet for us, Hayden, but it's not for tonight, it's for Mandurah tomorrow, isn't it?
No, I'm searching far and wide. I've done some of my best work at Gulfstream Park, so
have you?
I'm searching even wider. I'm going tomorrow, Mandurah, race 6, number 7, Common Speed. Dog in really good form, has a lot of pace out of the boxes, and I was impressed by the temerity shown last time out because there was a challenger there. Little Lorelei was bang on this dog's hammer, and he gutsed it out strongly, and he was never going to lose. He was forging clear close home, and I like the strength shown. I think he can go on with it. Race 6, number 7, Common Speed.
Tomorrow night at Mandurah. All right, that is the show for the week. Hope you all have a good Christmas out there. Yes, we will be back next week to wrap up 2023, but until then, we'll see you next week on the Wednesday preview.